Hello and welcome. There comes a time on the spiritual journey where something strange happens. At first, you begin searching for peace, for answers, for something beyond your thoughts and your problems. You want freedom, truth, and to feel whole again. And for a while, it feels like things are opening up. You learn about awareness. You meditate. You read books, watch teachers, practice being present. It all feels good. It feels like progress. I remember when I first started seeking truth and spiritual awakening, I felt really special, like I had found the path while everyone else was still lost. Now that I look back, I realize I had fallen into the ego trap. The feeling of being separate was just an illusion. I couldn't be more awake or better than others when, in reality, there is only one consciousness. We are all one. We are consciousness experiencing life through different forms. The ego constantly tries to give us labels to make us feel separate, like man, elder, Christian, spiritual person, or even the one who found the light. But even thinking you are awakened is just another label, and whether you like it or not, that label makes you feel separate again. Then one day something clicked. I saw that others were just me, consciousness experiencing life through different bodies at the level they were meant to be. I used to think they are lost in ego, but that was also me, experiencing that exact situation through another body. And this body-mind was simply meant to recognize that. And you hearing or reading this are meant to receive it through your form. Because we, as one consciousness, chose all of this to happen. It might sound strange, but it's like writing a story. You create many characters: a hot-headed teenager, a wise elder, a kind mother. You write from all their perspectives. And even though they look different, they're all expressions of the same writer. That writer is you. That writer is us. Let's look deeper. How can someone wake up when there is only one being? How can anyone find the truth when you created all of this and already know it all? You are consciousness. You are God. You are beyond seeking truth because you are the truth. The idea of spiritual awakening is something we invent to help us feel more human, because we're supposed to feel human. Your mind and ego aren't mistakes. They are tools to help shape this experience as it was planned. Once this is seen clearly, people call it awakening, but even that is part of the dream. Human life is like a dream, and awakening is simply realizing it's a dream. But even the dream is not separate from you. Whatever is you. So how can you truly wake up when there's no one else here? There is only you, wandering through the illusions you created, experiencing everything, even awakening itself. There is no healer, no levitating monk, no telekinetic power holder, until you realize that all of that is you. All of this is you, always has been. But then, without even noticing it, a new problem appears. A new identity forms. Now you start to think of yourself as a spiritual person. You don't say it out loud, but in your mind, you carry that image. Someone who is waking up, someone who is beyond the usual worries, someone who is starting to see things others don't. And just like that, the ego returns, this time wearing a peaceful mask. The identity you once tried to break becomes a new version of itself, a spiritual ego. And the worst part is, it feels real. This identity is very tricky. It knows how to use all the right words. It says things like, just be present, or thoughts aren't real, or you are not the body. It may sound peaceful, but underneath it is still someone trying to be something. It's still the mind. It's still trying to protect a new self-image. You may start to feel pressure to feel peaceful all the time, to not get angry, to not feel sad. You may feel guilty when difficult emotions rise, thinking, if I was really spiritual, I wouldn't feel this way. But that's the trap. That's the game the ego plays. It turns even the desire for truth into a role. And once it becomes a role, you start performing again. You try to act spiritual. You try to speak in a calm way. You try to always look peaceful and wise. You want others to see you as someone who gets it. But deep down, it's exhausting, because it's not real. You're pretending again, even if it looks different than before. The truth is, the real self, the one that is always here, the awareness behind everything, doesn't care about being spiritual. It doesn't need any label. It doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't try to look a certain way. It just is, pure, quiet, alive, always here. The only thing that tries to be something is the mind. And the mind, no matter how spiritual it sounds, is still just thoughts. You don't need to get rid of the mind, but you do need to stop believing in the image it builds around who you are. There is no need to be a spiritual person. There is no need to act peaceful. You don't need to prove anything to yourself or others. You don't need to always feel calm. Real presence doesn't look a certain way. It can show up in silence or in chaos or even in tears. It's not about the outside. It's about letting go of the inside noise. The effort to be someone, even someone awake, is what blocks the freedom you're looking for. And you may wonder, but didn't I make progress? Didn't I grow? Yes, of course. There may have been many powerful experiences. You may have had moments of stillness, deep joy, or a sense that something beyond the mind is watching. That's beautiful. But don't hold on to those moments. Don't turn them into proof that you've reached somewhere. Don't make them into memories that you compare your current state to, because the mind will do that. It will say, I used to feel peaceful. Why don't I feel like that now? And then the seeking begins again. You're not here to collect experiences. You're not here to build a timeline of how awakened you are. You're not here to be perfect. You're not even here to be better. You're here to be free. And freedom doesn't come from fixing the character you think you are. It comes from seeing that the character is not you, not the spiritual one, not the broken one, not the peaceful one, none of them. You are what sees all of it, the quiet space behind every role. This is what's hard for the mind to accept. You don't need to be spiritual to realize truth. In fact, you need to let go of the idea that you are anything. Truth isn't about becoming someone new. It's about seeing through all the masks, even the beautiful ones, especially the beautiful ones. The idea of being spiritual feels safe. It feels like you're moving in the right direction. It feels clean, light, and powerful. But that's why it's such a strong trap. Because it feels good, you don't notice that you're slowly creating a new self to protect. You don't notice that you're afraid of losing that identity. And so you begin to defend it. You resist anything that makes you feel less than spiritual. You hide your emotions. You pretend you're okay. You say peaceful things even when you don't feel peaceful inside. That's not freedom. That's performance. And if you're honest, you may feel tired from it. You may feel like you're chasing something again, trying to arrive, but the truth is you're already here. You've always been here. What you are is not a role. It's not something you have to become. It's what you already are before the idea of you even shows up. It's the silent awareness that is always watching, always allowing, always still. You don't need to kill the ego. You don't need to stop thoughts. You don't need to stay in some peaceful state forever. None of that is needed. What is needed is seeing clearly, seeing the ways the mind creates roles, seeing the ways it tries to build a new identity, seeing that the need to be spiritual is still a story. Once you see it clearly, the grip starts to loosen. You stop needing to be anyone at all. You just rest. And that rest is the peace you were always looking for. You are not the one who meditates. You are not the one who lets go. You are not the one who practices presence. All of those are actions that happen, but they don't need a you to do them. They just happen. You are what sees them happening. That's it. You don't need to control it. You don't need to judge it. You just notice. And in that noticing, you're already free. When you stop needing to be seen as spiritual, you open up. You relax. You stop trying to impress even yourself. You stop playing a role. And in that space, truth shines by itself. Not because you created it, but because you stopped getting in the way. You stopped performing. Spirituality doesn't make you better than anyone. It doesn't make you wiser. It doesn't put you above others. If you think it does, that's not truth. It's just another identity. You are not better. You are not worse. You are not above. You are not below. You simply are, and so is everyone else. The same truth, the same awareness, the same being looking out through different eyes, with different stories, different roles, but always the same source. So drop the weight of being spiritual, drop the pressure, drop the ideas, let go of trying to stay in the perfect state, let go of trying to talk in a spiritual way, let go of trying to look awake, let go of needing others to see your growth. Let go of even needing yourself to see it. Just be. Being is enough. Being without the image. Being without the pressure. Being without the goal. Not because you gave up, but because you finally saw that you don't need to become anyone. Not even a better version of yourself. Especially not a spiritual version. And yes, you may still do spiritual things. You may still meditate, read, pray, reflect, but let them be natural. Let them happen without needing to prove anything. Let them happen because they flow from you, not because they are part of your identity. When you sit in silence, don't do it to become more spiritual. Do it because you enjoy the silence. When you speak about truth, don't do it to sound wise. Do it because the words rise naturally. When you help others, don't do it to be good. Do it because love moves through you. And if none of that happens, that's okay too. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to earn freedom. You don't have to prove that you're ready. You just have to see that there was never anything wrong with you in the first place. The real you doesn't need improvement. It never did. Let go of being spiritual. Let go of trying to become anything. Be nothing. Be no one. And in that you'll discover something far more peaceful than the image of peace. You'll find the truth that was always here, quiet and simple, behind the noise. And it doesn't call itself anything. Not spiritual, not awakened, not even true. It just is. And so are you. Thank you for watching.